Welcome to the woods of Bethlehem,
No, don't say that. Don't say that Bethlehem, Mississippi stuff.
Why not? That's where we're at, bro.
I don't want people to know
In
where I am
Bethlehem, Mississippi.
at. Okay, he's in Bethlehem, Mississippi. You guys have absolutely no business
have no
to
clue
know
where she's
where
at.
I am at, okay?
You have absolutely no clue where Fruzsina Carson is.
I am a mystery. Except since I married David, I'm no longer a mystery.
Oh, you got her all figured out now, huh? 'Cause,
Everybody's got it
got it
figured
all
out.
figured out.
Hi everyone, welcome back.
Hey, it's good to be back. We just got back from Denver, Colorado. Can we say that, Fru?
Yeah, but let's introduce ourselves first.
Oh,
I am Fruzsina Carson.
I'm David Carson.
We are trauma survivors, caregivers, science nerds.
Science nerds.
He's more than that. He's a lot more than that. He's an entertainer and a musician. Oh,
Man, listen,
musician.
play the drums on my back.
But
So what we're doing here with this show, Fru,
yeah, but
what
here
are we
on
doing here
Dr.
with this show?
PhilGood, we dig into how faith, biology, and a little everyday miracle making can transform your healing journey, which is precisely what we're gonna talk about
Every time we're on
today,
Dr. Feelgood, we're going to tell
as
you something.
we're
that-
gonna discover more about frequencies and how they relate.
You have
to
no idea
healing.
about frequencies yet, but after this show, you will know. I learned about frequencies through my wife. Very first sound healing bath I had, a miracle happened. So
You never knew about it before?
I didn't
then?
know about it before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Singing
just
bowls,
now.
I didn't know that until you showed them to me.
Sound healing.
I was reading about it, but I didn't know about it. You brought it to my forefront. I
Well,
didn't really know about it. I had never experienced it until I met you.
Well, I knew very little about it, and
Oh, if you're here watching, just drop a line in the chat. We are watching your comments and we'll respond. Okay.
there's still a huge thing on my face.
What thing?
Shadow.
I'm wondering why it doesn't show like where are the page? You guys go ahead. Fru, it's time to start streaming. I am streaming.
I had a feeling that you were not streaming.
Yeah, it
but-
says I'm streaming.
Okay, well, so today we're diving into something that might just blow your mind because it blew our minds. Not because we all knew everything about, thank you, not because we knew everything about frequencies and the human biofield and, how everything that we were going to do was going to affect us exactly.
We didn't know everything in the beginning, but now we do.
But we had faith. We trusted that we're about to do something that's going to help.
And I was in, you know what? Miracles always come in desperate situations.
Yes. But also sometimes the most unexpected places. This thing happened in my living room.
Yeah. Get in the picture a little more.
During the
There you
day,
go. Yeah, there you go.
like
That's where I
like
need you to be.
completely normal day, we're just going about our business. David's
Minding our own business.
Yeah, like David's hanging out with me, and we're not gonna tell the story yet. We actually are first and foremost.
Oh, there you are. Sorry,
We're
guys. Can
gonna-
I have this?
Yes, and then you can also have that. First and foremost,
All right.
a
folks.
shout out for the Patrick Risha City Awareness Foundation, whose incredible work
Thank you, guys.
also made this show possible today.
Thank you guys for saying hello. Don't mind dropping a line in there and say where you're talking to us from.
This-
Nashville.
This is a foundation. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Shell. So nice to see you, ladies.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Oops, is that my phone or your phone?
That was mine.
Yeah, mine's silenced.
You're smarter.
All right, so this is a foundation that educates and empowers families like ours And if you guys are interested in supporting them or just learn more about what they do, I would suggest for you to
go to stopcte.org. That's their website. And
you can find
you can
more about
also
the
help
founders.
us and them by whenever they go to legislation or they go to Congress and present new things. They always have information about, you can call your congressman up or write them a letter, or really helps what they're doing. And right now, I think they're focusing on getting the age changed for contact sports. And I know nobody likes to hear those kind of things,
Right.
but let me tell you something about just touching your home a little bit. The amount of damage that's done to a child's brain when they bump it is different than what it is as an adult, because ours, as an adult, it's fully developed already. And the reason they're wanting to stop this, the numbers are outrageous. They're giving more and more information about this, and
The stats, you
yeah,
mean?
the stats
Yes.
about like what happens. Oh, the stats are just coming out, and it's disturbing to think that we'd put our kids through that. So you guys go to stopct.org and find out more about it and get educated on it. Thanks.
This issue, you guys,
Jackson,
is
Mississippi.
just like many other issues we talk about on this show that are very little understood by the general public. And so one of the reasons why we're here today is because we want to help you guys understand more about what CT is, but also more about what holistic wellness is and how the two are related.
You know, how we deal with chronic traumatic encephalopathy and RHI, how we deal with it is all holistic. We're dealing with it with different modalities, but we're at war with this. And so far, over the last 7 years, we've done great. I've gotten better. Instead of a degenerative brain disease, I've actually gotten better.
We got so great that I can no longer share your testimony publicly without people telling me that I'm lying.
You guys
or-
see this?
Or
This my wife made.
exaggerating or whatever.
Well, that's just people.
It's just lack of understanding. It's
no,
not people, it's lack of
No, it's
understanding.
people. People will believe everything out there that's a lie, and then the truth will come up, and they'll shake their tail feathers at it. It's because they're overloaded with information.
That's cute. I just saw Spice doing that when you said that. That would be so cute. Actually, you know what? The Duck,
Hi from Jackson and hi
Duck
from
Norris,
Uganda.
Duck Norris does that all the time when I try to give her a hug.
Uganda, Africa.
All
Welcome.
right. So, what is exactly the human biofield? This is going to be one of the things we're going to be talking about. The reason why we're going to be talking about it is because David had a spontaneous shift. This was almost 7 years ago now in my living room back in Denver, Colorado, where I was told to, I felt impressed by divine guidance, if you will.
I hate that shadow for
To
trying
pull,
to-
yeah, I don't like it either, but I don't know how to fix it. Sorry, my light guy went on vacation. It seems like.
There you go.
Oh, yay! So what happened was that I was impressed that I needed to use these singing bowls because David forgot to take his blood pressure medication for 3 days, and I believe you've been taking that for years at that point.
Yes. I called it the gravity control button. It's how you turn the gravity up in any room, is take that blood pressure medicine I was on.
And the shift that happened was so the blood pressure was one of the areas, but there were 2 other areas that were affected, and we're going to talk about that later. But let's first just figure out, why do so many ancient traditions talk about energy fields, and what it is that modern science is finding about energy, and particularly electricity within the body, and how that relates to these ancient traditions talking about
Excellent. I
energy
like it.
running through.
That's what I was studying when I met you, by the way. Tesla took me down a rabbit hole.
Did you learn about the chi by any
Yes.
means? Okay.
Absolutely.
So, like in Chinese medicine, you hear that a lot, right? They say the qi, and people think that that's some sort of a far-fetched, weird concept like voodoo and
Ask any serious martial artist, and they'll explain it to you.
well, I mean, you don't really. Okay, so this is what this is about. I want to break it down so that I don't have to talk to martial
Break it
artists
down.
who already understand it. I want to talk to people who understand.
Break it down.
When you take a breath, your lungs are opening up, and that's energy flowing through your nostrils and your throat, and then your lungs, and then also when your heart pumps, there is blood running through your blood vessels, and that's motion. So energy and motion are essentially the same.
It creates electricity.
And so when the heartbeats create electricity, your brain creates electricity. This is why we have EEG or brain waves.
Pretty serious how smart this woman is. I love it.
But also, there is a deeper level that I found out in the past 5 years, which is that these redox signaling within the body are happening with the exchange of electrons. So there is electricity right over there as well. So everything from communication through transferring material from one place to another, there is electricity involved. So that's probably, I always wondered about that, and you learn electricity, so you tell me, but that's probably why it's so dangerous to hit by electricity, because it can screw up that whole process that the body
Kill
has.
you quick.
It can kill you, or like, I don't know, what happens before you die from electric shock.
You poop your pants.
David Lee.
I'm serious.
Yeah, but I'm seriously not what I was trying to ask for.
Oh, what were you asking?
There are always like scales, like.
Oh, well, I don't know those scales.
So what's in between dying
And pooping your pants?
and not feeling? No, not between dying and pooping your pants. I'm not talking about pooping anybody's pants.
Okay.
Okay, let's take that out of the conversation. I'm talking about what kind of dysfunctions can you develop from electric
shock. I don't know. We have to look into that. That'd be something to study.
Because I'm sure that dying is not the only thing that can happen. Why is this back in my face again?
You just moved. That's all.
Or you just moved.
Well, Mike's not moving, so.
All right.
I'll
So,
hide back here.
the NIH recognizes biofield as a real area of study under the category of energy medicine.
Energy medicine.
Yep.
So we're getting into ancient stuff that, they don't use it anymore.
It's no longer ancient. It's like a new field of study now, and people want to understand more about it for a reason, because it's everywhere in the body.
Absolutely. And the brain has been the most unknown. Isn't it cool how, when a war takes place, all these new developments come and new inventions always come because the war brings need. And here we are at a desperate situation in our society. Civilization is losing folks to suicide at a remarkable rate. And then dementia now. Alzheimer's. When I was a kid, you didn't really see a whole bunch of folks that didn't know who you were, or know who they were. Dementia and stuff was far between. You didn't see a whole bunch of it, but it is today. So because of this and the suicide, there's something that has to be done, and it's so cool that because the main sport that all of us like is action, and we bump our heads a lot, and so it's this big conflict of whether or not we can play ball anymore, and we can't, bunch of wussies, or all of that conflict is bringing awareness. And so 10 years from now, like go back 10 years ago, I didn't even know what CTE was. I literally questioned my own, I guess I'm crazy. I called my disability check a crazy check because I didn't know what was wrong with me. The doctors couldn't tell me anything, but because of all this, the studies are going on, and the information that we're gathering and things about the brain that no one, we never knew. It was a mystery in the human body, was the brain, and now we're learning so much cool stuff. I'm excited about it, even if it did cost me my noodles.
So Matt Clare said in 1974.
Oh man, how do you do stuff like that?
Cells
That's when I was born.
Cells communicate not only chemically but also electromagnetically.
Cells communicate electromagnetically.
And the heart emits an electromagnetic field measurable up to 3 feet away. This is from the HeartMath Institute. So this is why I always tell people, especially people who don't have a system of managing their stress, because we all have stress. And even if you think that your life is so calm and there's no drama, and there's still stress. That loss still happens. People die and lose their jobs, and accidents, and anything that emotionally affects you or mentally in a negative way, it's gonna cause stress.
It's a laundry basket. Your allostatic load.
That's why I always tell people, when it comes, especially people who don't have a system of managing their stress, is that it's as soon as you enter a room, your heart is emitting a frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the room feels even if they don't know, but they feel how you feel. So one of the greatest disservice that you can do to society is not managing your own stress, because
mask it.
Because you, first of all, you are the number one who's affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting sicker every single time when this stress is interfering with your physiological activities. But you're also affecting people in a negative way when you're not managing your stress.
Right.
You could step into that room, and that 3 feet away, you could carry this huge, magnetic, loving, peaceful energy if you knew how to.
You could have a halo on your head.
But the
aura.
But the thing is that people don't think about these things, and then this is not on the top of their priority list. And I think it's really important.
Well, it is very important.
So brain waves, heart rate variability, or HRV as we like to refer to it in wellness coaching, and even skin conductivity change in response to music, prayer, and meditative frequencies.
That's cool.
So the human biofield is a field of energy, which is actually a combination. It's kind of like a sum of the frequencies that each system emits in your body. So like I said, your brain creates these frequencies, and then your heart emits these frequencies, and then each and every organ and each and every cell. So when we talk about the human biofield, that's kind of like a symphony, of many what's the word I'm looking for? Many musicians, or many instruments, or many groups of instruments, like the percussion.
That's why I called you in tune in the beginning.
It's like a sum of that. So that's why reading the human biofield and being able to translate it into information that's something that we can understand can tell everything about a person. This is exactly why when we go, now everybody does that. So, again, 10 years ago, if I talked about this, everybody would be like, oh, I don't even know what she's talking about. But right now, everybody knows. You go to your holistic wellness practitioner, and they give you 2 rods, and then 2 metal rods, and then you hold those 2 metal rods, and then in 10-15 minutes they tell you everything about what kind of autoimmune issues you have, whether or not you have digestive issues, nervous, whatever.
They used to have this game it wasn't a game, it was some kind of little entertainment thing. I don't understand what people got out of it, but you put a quarter in it. When I was a kid at the gas station, you put your hands on these little rods, and this light would go up and tell you what mood you're in. It was just play. But
the ancestor of these systems.
Yeah.
But literally it is. So these systems that I'm talking about, or the most accurate, the least expensive, and the least invasive ways of detecting dysfunction.
And you
in
don't
the
have
body.
to believe in it for it to
And
work, by the way.
what's
folks.
amazing about it, by the way, we have a really cool story about this, but I think we're probably gonna leave that for the next episode when we talk about why, going to the doctor for 3 years, doing very invasive exams with no results, like how that turned out in our life, if walking into this office and finding out everything in 60 minutes. Okay, so anyways, so let's flash back to the miracle, okay? So do you remember, what was your impression, David, when this whole thing happened with the singing bowls? What do you remember?
I remember the room felt like it cleared, like the Holy Ghost had done its thing. In a Pentecostal church, when it gets,
let's start it from the beginning.
Felt the air in the room.
So he stood up. He said, "My head
I stood
hurt."
up like this.
No. You stood up and you said, "My head hurt," and I looked at him and I said, "Do you have high blood pressure?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yes, and I forgot my medication, and I've been here for 3 days." I mean, he didn't know he'd been there for 3 days, but I reminded
She had me
him.
like kidnapped me.
Yeah, right. And so when he said that, I realized that we were 40 minutes away from his home, so there was no chance for us to go and just grab it. And plus, it's a medication that you were supposed to take every day. It wasn't it wasn't as needed, but as needed type of thing. So that's when I had this impression that he will heal if I bring out the singing bowls and so do my regular thing, which is just literally, it's like a prayer, you guys. It's nothing else. It's just you set an intention and then you play music, and then through quantum entanglement, the theory is, and we put it into practice. So I don't know if you want to call it a theory, but you can if you wanted to. The theory is that your intention, the frequency of your intention, gets kind of like blended with the frequencies that these sonic devices, in this case singing bowls, are emitting, and the two together are capable of creating changes. So now please describe what happened when I pulled out the yoga mats.
I'm laying down on the yoga mat, my eyes shut, blood pressure really high. My blood pressure ran over 200 at the top number, and the bottom number was usually what the top number was supposed to be. So I had a really high blood pressure for a long time. So I'm laying there, and she starts playing these, and what it sounds to me like is a guitar that's out of tune. When I'm tuning it, if it's out of tune, you hear this ripple in the sound waves, and as you tune it, it'll go and level out like that. And so what I heard was a bunch of and then and when I heard that, it was like the vacuum sucked out of the room, and air and everything, and just like my ear pressure in my ears went down. It was just immediate miracle. I know.
Like my experience is a little bit different, but we both
my
had
body
an
experienced a miracle in that room, and my blood pressure went down immediately. But what also happened was my body reset. I think it's time to do another reset. We should do this week because, it's been 7 years.
No, we're going to do it on the 11th, not this week.
Oh, on the 11th. We are doing it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think my body just reset. I believe this is a medicine that I need to do often enough to tune up, reset chemistry, because my hormones got healed too.
So and this is exactly what I was going to mention right now, is that my intention was to heal his blood pressure, his high blood pressure. Now he had other issues that I didn't know about that he had in mind. And so those were the thyroid dysfunction, right? And then the testosterone.
Yep.
So he kept telling me for weeks after this, "Oh, I gotta go see the doctor. I gotta go see the doctor." And I'm like, I never see the doctor. So I'm like, whatever. You go ahead. And so finally, he decided that
About 3 months
we were
afterwards.
gonna go see the doctor. We went. He got his annual and like his blood work and everything done. And then they told him that blood pressure was perfect. He didn't take blood pressure medication. Never after this event. Never.
And it's been 120/70 just about every time anyone checks it. It's like textbook perfect.
So this is a story for Hannah. I just realized.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So anyway, but I mean, you guys, with all honesty, like this just reminded me because we have a friend who's suffering from high blood pressure, and I'm gonna say this right now. At the same time, David's diet was changed too.
Yes.
So I think when this is one of those situations where we want to achieve something, but we don't want to listen to the people who already achieved it. We rather argue with them. This was twofold. So this wasn't. I don't believe that it was just the singing bowls, but what I do believe is that we had an experience with the singing bowls, and that had a huge impact on his health.
Absolutely.
And
I consider, because I'm a Pentecostal preacher's kid, I consider Jesus in everything that I'm doing and thinking, and because I was just raised that way. You might consider something else the same way, and that's fine with me. But what I considered after this happened is how many times Jesus said, "Go and sin no more. Be made whole. Go and sin no more. Be made whole." And so that's how I'd look at my lifestyle. Boy, did I change. And I still have a ton of changing to do. I'm not done with that. But I want to encourage you guys to start taking steps, because when you start taking steps is when these miracles happen. That's the only thing that I can say about this.
And that is because and the reason why miracles happen only after you start taking steps is because opportunities arise after we made decisions. So if you're not making a decision, you're not going to take steps. If you're taking steps, you already made a decision. So this is very, very important. And I think we talked about it in our previous episode. I remember kind of mentioning it. If you want changes in your life, first, you have to make decisions. And I would suggest for you, think about it this way. If you want radical changes in your life, make radical decisions. And don't just make the decision and then, go back and forth, because that weakens you as a human being. It weakens you. Weakens your personality.
Yeah, pick something you're going to succeed at too.
Something that's important.
Something that you're really on, is really on you, and something important to you. Pick it, and then just show how powerful of a human being you are. God created you with a willpower that no one can break. Only you can.
So the body is electric and the soul is magnetic. And what we used in that experience was our soul's desire to be healed. And what happened at a physical level is what we're talking about. It's an entanglement. Its frequencies are affecting each other. If you look at two waves in the ocean, there are waves that kill each other, meaning like when they come and collide, they kind of just disappear. Their energy disappears. And then there are waves that when they come, they amplify. One amplifies the other. And so this is kind of like this is how I look at harmony and disharmony when it comes to frequencies. And this is exactly how, when you don't have the right intention, can ruin something. But setting your intention in a way where it's aligned with not just with the outcome, but also with everybody else involved in it, you have a greater chance to manifest something that is, of your desire. Right,
Be careful
David?
what you manifest. Yeah.
Right, David?
Right, Fruz.
So, scientific grounding. So, every cell has a membrane potential with a voltage difference, and that governs its ability to function. So, like, the cell membranes are really, really smart creatures. They decide about everything that goes inside a cell or everything that they let out. So think about think about insulin resistance. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this term. It's essentially it's the cell membrane that's going to decide whether or not I let that insulin inside the cell. And that decision is huge if you think about it, because if we never had insulin resistance, then nobody would have diabetes. So it's pretty major, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
ATP production, detoxification, and repair all rely on bioelectric signals. Well, we're talking about redox signaling.
Yeah, that's what I
again.
was getting ready to say. Here we
Yeah.
are with redox signaling molecules. You hear us talk about this a lot because it's our go-to supplement, a healing.
Yeah.
I call it a supplement, and she doesn't call it a supplement, but we have them already in our body, and it's I supplement by giving it more, and they're amazing. Communication is the key.
Yeah, and the reason why I call it a system is because of this. So you're not just adding redox signaling molecules to your system, but you're also adding electricity, because guess how those redox signaling molecules were actually made? They are it's water and salt charged with electricity in a way that creates this extra energy in your body.
And they're the communication. It's the communication within your body. So God designed us to heal. He designed our body to communicate in ways that we don't even understand. And it's phenomenal how powerful the human body is, how smart and intelligent it is without us doing anything. Except now what we've done, Fru, is we've added all these toxins and environmental stresses on our bodies that God didn't intend for us to have. And that is diminishing our communication. It's hurting the communication within our body. So therefore, we got a lot of illness and sickness that's incurable.
Yeah, that's really the same in the word too, with a lot of noise and people no longer knowing what truth and what isn't truth. Anyways, it's a little bit off topic today. So tell me about frequencies and the Bible, David. And if you can.
Okay, here's one. David played the harp. Everyone knows this one. And it calmed Saul. So
and when he had mental
he had mental issues. The Bible talks about it. He was troubled by the devil. The enemy troubled him. He had mental issues. And what calmed his nervous system and his ability to think properly and was music. It was a harp.
Now, how about Jericho?
So all at the same time, in unity, they blew a trumpet. There's another.
Wait, explain. Not everybody knows.
So they blew
Jericho is.
Okay, Jericho was a city surrounded with a wall that was big enough to drive 2 chariots across. It's like big as a road. It's a road.
So that's bigger than the Chinese.
That's how wide the wall was. Yeah. How tall it was, I don't know, but it surrounded the whole entire city, and it had not been. Nobody had broken through it, and so the children of Israel were taking one city at a time of the promised land, and this was one of the cities, first ones in the way that they needed to go take. Well, God told them to go march around the wall 7 days. Zip it. Oh yeah, shut your mouth. He said, don't be talking. No noise. Silence
for 7 days.
And then on the last day that they're walking around this place, they were to sound the trumpet. I believe there was. I keep getting it mixed up with Gideon right now because there was 3 things. There was a lamp. There was a breaking of the jar.
I think they were screaming too, not just the trumpets.
So they could speak and the trumpets, the trumpet and the shout, and they all did it in unity at the exact same time, and those walls fell flat.
So after 7 days.
So what's the moral of that story, folks?
Of being silent, they made this huge noise with the instruments and then their own sound systems.
With an intention.
And they destroyed something that was absolutely like blowing everybody's mind away, that they didn't think it was impossible to do it.
Too possible. They didn't think it was possible.
So also I have on my note Jesus spoke and healing occurred, but I'm thinking more so of the power of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would tell people a little bit about that and how that relates to sound.
A proverb says that there's power of life and death in the tongue. And we all know that you can say, people say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never harm me. And that's totally untrue. The power of life being in the tongue is just as powerful as death being in the tongue. And so we all know that there's a little test that, like, we can take people out of the scenario and say thank you to water. And they measured the electrical current or the vibration inside that, and it shows the water being happy. It's response to thank you. It's response to
Amaro, or I don't remember. It's a Japanese gentleman. It's a Japanese scientist.
It's pretty neat.
He took these pictures of crystallized water molecules under this influence of, like what he's talking about. There was a jar, and they put water in different jars, and they all had the same water in them originally, but they actually put tags on the labels, and there is a meaning attached to that word that they put on it. So one of them said love, the other one said hate, I don't know, one said peace. And so it's ridiculous. I can't think of his name. I mean, I know his name, but I don't know how you pronounce it. It's yes. You guys message me if you want. I'm actually following him on my Facebook, so you can probably find him.
It's a really neat test.
So the water molecules took a different chemical structure based on the energy of that word that was applied.
You guys know you're 90-something% water, right?
Right. So think about
salt water.
So think about this. I had a very long conversation with somebody yesterday about the kind of thoughts that you feed in your mind. And I feel like it's really pointless to even talk about this, because this is something that you have to figure out on your own. But in my experience, I mean, I'm not even the same person, since I pay very, very close attention to my thoughts and my emotions. And I'm very, very careful with what kind of emotions and thoughts.
Yes, everybody has to manage their thoughts.
I entertain or feed. That's however you want to say it. It doesn't matter how you say it, but what matters is that we all do it. We are, I live my life for probably 30-some, almost 40 years, thinking that I wasn't responsible for my emotions. And I mean, I'm not responsible for what kind of emotions are generated in me, but I am responsible for what I do with them.
How you manage them, yes.
So then when it comes to emotions, whether or not you think they're random, they're not random, by the way, either. But whether or not you think they're random, what comes out of them, that has all to do with how you manage them, or you don't. Yes. So this is a really,
so the power
really
of the tongue
thing.
is what we're talking about before I busted in on the water and the tongue. But the going back to where I was raised by preachers. Let's go to this. We're made in the image of God, and all of this was created by word. Mm-hmm. The power, if we're in the image of God, our mouth has power as well, and we experience it on a level because of, I believe, how I express who God is within my life. I believe is what I don't know. We've experienced some very powerful stuff with me saying it, and then it happened.
Oh, this was part of this conversation I had with this friend yesterday. That's exactly right. The thing, because this is what it came out of. So I'm going to bring it up just because it relates to this topic. We were talking about healing, and so she said how she doesn't agree with when you go to church and people just say that, oh, your husband or your loved one is going to be healed. she doesn't believe in this just claim it and then have it kind of thing. And what I said was that I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that I agree with it or I don't agree with it or you should believe it or you shouldn't believe it, but I do know one thing. You believe in it is going to help it to manifest.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I'm saying this 100% from my own experience, because before I met this man, I was the same way. Oh, I believed in God. I believed God could do anything, but I had very little trust that God would do those things for me or in front of me or, in my presence or, like all of that kind of stuff. And so what I saw on David was that he said things that seemed impossible to be coming true, and then they become true. And so I started to pay attention really closely because, again, you can do two things when you see successful people. One thing is you can start arguing with them and telling them that they don't get it right. They're doing it wrong. Or the other thing that you can do is, if you'd like to be successful, is pay attention, very close attention to what they're doing and learn from them.
That's a good one for it.
So what I did was I started to pay really close attention to the process, and the process looks the same all the time. This is what I told her too. First, he has a vision, then he claims it, meaning he speaks it out loud.
I speak it as it is.
And then he speaks about it, and then it happens. And I don't need any more information about this to know that if I want something to happen in my life, first I have to have a vision, then I have to be bold enough to be able to talk about it. And then I just have to keep talking about it and doing the things according to what I say, not do something else than what I'm saying,
right.
But do as I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't just say whatever you want.
You can't say that.
Well,
but you can't say that you're gonna be a millionaire if you choose to, never work in your whole entire life and never do anything for anybody. You can, and you may even win the lottery at some point, but surely you're gonna lose it with the mentality that you developed over the years. So what the speaking thing does, it constantly gives that information to every cell in your body and reconditions your cells to become the person who you have to become in order to have the thing that you want to have.
Right.
Did I get this
right?
right?
You did that good. Yes, you did that
So
good.
this is why I can say that if somebody says that something is going to happen that you want to happen, but you're having these doubts about it, then please, instead of just saying that, oh, I can't run with that, put your doubts aside.
Yeah.
Because your doubts can kill your whole entire project.
A lot of things in life are right in front of you. Like I could say, Alexa, turn the lights on, and the lights would come on. But before Alexa came out, I had to just walk over and flip up the switch. And the electricity was there and it's available, and I could tell it all day long to come on, and it wouldn't come on. But if I got up and went over there and flipped the switch, the light would come on. So there's a lot of things that you can do that just talking about it isn't going to get it done.
Right. So I'm not suggesting that you should just
That's
talk
not what
about
she's talking about. But
I'm also not
put
suggesting
it into action.
that you should believe everybody who's just talk about stuff.
Right.
That's not.
If you're going to walk the walk, you got to talk the talk.
But this is what I believe, and that's
Totally
another thing that I tell people all the time. You can choose what you believe.
Oh, everyone chooses what they
believe. It takes the exact same energy to believe that what you would like to happen is going to happen than the opposite of it. So where you're going to put your energy is already giving a message, an unspoken message to everything in your body and your cells.
So water, your body, 90-something% water, reacts to words. This is electromagnetic. It is electrical field that we live in. And that's what we're discussing today, if you're just getting in here. Miracles
So-
that happen inside the electromagnetic field.
Okay, this is actually
Frequency
wrong.
medicine.
But other than that, on the 11th of November,
The
which is-
11th of November.
It's easy to remember because it's 11/11, and it's also Veterans Day. So the very first time in this year, we're doing something very special on Veterans Day.
Right on.
And it's going to be a sound bath in New Albany.
Sound bath is exactly the same thing that she did for me when I received this miracle and blood pressure, testosterone, thyroid.
Now, this
completely.
time we're going to actually connect it with Bible scriptures. So we're going to read some scriptures. David is going to read some scriptures, and I'm going to be playing the singing bowls. And the reason why we're doing it this way is because I want him to have the full experience that he had 7 years ago. So he's not going to be involved in playing. He's going to be involved in relaxing. And then before we get started, he's going to read some scriptures.
I might just read scriptures while it's going on.
Okay. Well,
Speak the word, Fru.
so you guys are invited. This isn't an open invitation, so I'm not disclosing the address or anything like that. But if you're interested and if you're in the area and you want to come, then please comment on this video, and then I will DM you, and then I give you the information.
This is in New Albany, correct?
This is in New Albany, correct?
Right.
And it's actually not far from Old Town New Albany. I hate to call that downtown. I know that's what people call it, but it's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks from New
11:57.
Albany.
New Albany.
What?
It's 11:57. Man, we went a long time today.
I know, it's a good topic.
Yeah.
So if you've been in a loop of stress, symptoms, or soul fatigue, this is a reset your nervous system didn't know it needed. This is what happened to David, and this is what happened to me when I experienced
didn't even know it
sound bath for
existed.
the first time. So type sound in the chat if you want location details. And
Just like that.
type witness if you're coming and want to help us pray for another breakthrough.
Witness, just like that.
So you are more electric than you realize. I like to say that.
Yeah.
That I think is really cool. And when faith meets frequency, healing becomes a conversation, not a command.
I like that one.
So if this episode sparks something in you, share it with someone who needs hope or healing.
You were designed to heal,
And
folks.
you don't have to do it
you
alone.
don't have to do it alone.
No, you don't.
Don't have to do it alone.
So shout out again to the
Patrick Risha.
CTE
Awareness
Awareness Foundation.
Go to
and
stopcte.org.
to learn more about their mission or how you can help them.
And just to tell them thank you for sponsoring us.
And we'll see you next time right here on Dr. PhilGood. I'm also going to say we're going to change this up pretty soon, you guys. This Saturday morning time is going to go away, and we're going to pick another time. I already have something in mind, by the way.
Oh, you do?
I do. But in the meantime, we'll just see you here at 11:11 a.m. Central Time.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Saturday.
Peace.
Bye.